people. I wanted to come on today to give you kind of I'm going to say what ended up a funny story, but in the interim, I have a story I wanted to share with you about a little, how do I say this, interaction I had with my children the other night. And I've recovered from it. I don't know that my children have officially recovered from it. I'm not entirely sure. My oldest daughter, gives me a little bit of wonder every once in a while, but I wanted to come on and tell you what happened anyway and hope that there's some solidarity, that I'm not the only one that has been through this. I did post a little bit of it on my personal Facebook page, and I did see others responding that yes, I have in fact been through that, so I felt a little bit vindicated. But I want to talk to you about the worst book any mother can read their child. This book right here. See this one? Love You Forever, written by Robert Munsch, illustrated by Sheila McGraw. This book right here, this one with that cute little toddler getting into toddler trouble is the worst book any mother can read to her children, and I'm going to tell you why. Don't lose me on this. Now, I love Robert Munsch. I have a history in early childhood education, preschools, daycares, nannying. I have read this book hundreds of times. I have read this book to thousands of other people's children, and I have made up my own song, my own tune that goes along with the song in this book. For all intents and purposes, this is a wonderful book. I love you, Robert. If this ever gets back to you, I am not downing what this book is. What I'm saying is, for a mother to read this book to her own children, worst move that you can make, especially an Italian mother, okay? You're talking emotion beyond emotion, and that does not end well. Not to mention, this mother had the genius idea to read it for the first time to her children as a bedtime story, i.e., before putting them to bed. I did dig up some of the history on this book because a friend of mine had mentioned it and I wasn't aware of it. It was actually written more as a tribute to child loss from Robert and his wife. And I'm not going to get into detail of that because that's not what this video is about. So I can feel, before I even get into the words of my children, the emotion that is in this book. I knew it. I went into this with eyes wide open, people. Yet I decided for the first time ever, my oldest is 7.5. For the first time ever, I'm going to read this book. Now, it's not like I don't know what this book is. I was given 2 copies of this book for my oldest's baby shower. I went, oh, thank you. That's so wonderful. It's such a great book. And I put it on the shelf. And it stayed on the shelf for 7.5 years because I knew what I was going to do if I read this book to my children. Now, my history, my oldest daughter, she and I almost died in childbirth. My son, he almost died in childbirth. And then I got a little baby she was perfect. She's absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong happened to them. So I had 2 that almost died. The first 2, again, waited for a very long time for them to get here. We went through some stuff. I'm going to leave it at that. Went through some stuff. Finally got these babies. It's all great. So there's emotion. There's a lot of emotion. I pick out this book. All right, guys, climb into bed. Now, my 2 oldest, they sleep in the same bed together because they cannot be alone, fear of the dark, all, the typical child stuff. So I'm sitting next to them at the foot of the bed. My baby's on the floor kind of crawling around doing her thing as we read these bedtime stories to them. My husband is downstairs working, and he comes up and he says goodnight when we're done reading our books. Well, pull this book out. I said, this book is a new one. Mommy hasn't read this to you yet, and I start reading. I get to page 2, and the tears start coming. Now, my children are used to me crying. Like I said, I'm their Italian mother. We cry. It happens. We yell. It happens. We hug. We love. All of the emotions happen. Get to page 2. 2. Guys, I couldn't. The tears, the constant blinking. I can hardly see the page. I'm trying to get it down. And my kids are like, what the heck is wrong? It's a book, Ma. Like, what are you doing? Stop. Can you not, please? So we get past the baby stage. Now, mind you, they're very baby-oriented right now because we have a baby. But then go to the toddler stage. And I'm able to kind of like suck it together reminisce a little bit like, oh yeah, you guys did the same things this little boy in the book is doing when you were toddlers. You stuck stuff in the potty. You tried to stick things in outlets. You tried to crawl off of the edge of the bed. You were terrors. You were holy terrors. Well, then we get to the song. I sing the song again with my own little tune. Woof, tears. Just whoosh, bawling. Okay. We get to the preteen stage. Then we get to the teen stage. Then we get to the adult stage. Then we get to the stage where the son is now singing to his mother. I am full on hysterics. Like, I'm trying to keep it together for my children because I've offered to them many times, like, well, mommy's going to stop reading the book. No, mommy, no, keep reading. So I continue to read this book. We get to this point where the son starts reading to his mother. And I'm like wiping it away. I'm not bawling like, but and the son goes to his mother and he picks her up and he sings. And now I look over the edge of the book to my 7-year-old who out of nowhere bursts into tears. And like I said, I'm done the book. Well, no, mommy, no, finish. I want to hear the book. I said, well, we're going to calm down. We're going to calm down. Well, she's crying. I'm crying, which sets off the baby because this is weird. This is not a thing that happens. So now the baby's crying. So finally, I'm like, I'm gonna bust through. I'm gonna finish this book. We have like 2 more pages. And we're gonna be done, and I'm gonna put it on a shelf, and we're never gonna talk about it again. I read the last page, and I look over, and there's my son, my 4.5-year-old, and he's trying to like secretly wipe away his own tears. He doesn't want mama to see. I'm crying too. So now, what should have been like, okay, guys, that was a great story. I love you. Kiss, kiss, pray, pray. Go to sleep. I'll see you in the morning. Now we have this whole discussion of what a human life cycle is and why he had to sing to his mama. And then he goes to sing to his baby. And the baby, no, honey, the baby's not our baby. That was not our baby in the book. Our baby's right here. That was a different baby. It took 45 minutes to get everybody calm back down to go to sleep. So finally, everybody's calm. There's no more tears. My poor husband came up and he was like, what the heck is going on? What happened? And I'm like, again, it happens. Emotions, they happen. I get my kids in bed. We say goodnight, turn off the lights, go to our room. I climb in bed and I'm nursing our baby. You're putting her to sleep. And the door flies open and there's both of my children. We missed you, Mama. We had to come see if you were okay. Another half an hour to calm them down, to assure them that Mama is not old. Mama is not going to heaven anytime soon. Mama will always be here for them, and I will love them forever and like them for always and forever. My babies, they'll be, and I will always be their mama. Let me tell you, okay, my husband's never read this book. He still hasn't read this book. When I started to explain to him what the book is about, because he didn't get it. He was like, why? Why would you do that? You know how you get. And I was like, I know how I get. I went into it eyes wide open, guys. Eyes wide friggin' open. And I knew what I was gonna do. Robert Munsch is quoted as saying that for someone who picks up this book, when they begin to read it, it's their story and not mine. And let me tell you, I feel that, Robert. I feel that. Before even having my own children, the emotion, like I said, that's conveyed in this book, I felt it deep, deep down. And to have this and read it to your own babies, it is something that, listen, if you're an adopted parent, if you're a birth parent, if you're a foster parent, if you're a godparent, if you're a grandparent, if you're someone by kinship who's taking care of someone else, when you have someone who is completely reliant, completely dependent on you, and you have that emotional tie, and you read this book that says no matter what you do, no matter how you act, no matter how big or how little you are, no matter what anybody says about you or how they act towards you, you're mine and I'm yours. And that's how it's forever going to be. That touches you in a place that's going to set off things you never knew you had inside of you. The problem is I knew I had this inside of me and I still did it. If you have not ever read the book, go to the library, go to the store, hit the button on Amazon, get it, read it, and you'll understand. Tip though, don't read it in front of children for the first time. Read it for yourself first. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you again very, very soon.